ability to be able to visualize system diagnostics on the factory floor can be a huge advantage. Let me show you how easy they can be. As you can see, we have our automation architecture here, and this is where we want to add our system diagnostics. Let me just give focus to the main CPU, right-click, go to Properties, and then go down to System Diagnostics and activate System Diagnostics. Now, what I want to do is give focus to that main CPU and click the Download Arrow button. Ultimately, we're going to do a compilation of all the error handling blocks as well as the data blocks with the actual messages in them. We'll compile all of them. Once it has, we can actually generate messages for the entire automation architecture. As you can see, I have 2 racks of I/O, a KP8, another controller. So this could be a channel layer fault, so a wire break for instance, module failure, module removed, could be a power group failure, head module failure, a network failure, HMI, controller. In fact, we will generate a diagnostic message for everything in the automation architecture, and you don't have to write one line of code to do this. So he has finished his compilation. Let me click the load button. So now we'll load all those blocks down to the main CPU at this point. And once he's finished with that, we can click the finish button, and we should get all green LEDs across the entire system. Okay, so now we've got the blocks generated and downloaded. How about visualization? Let me go back to the Add New Device, double click on that, click on HMI, go to Comfort Panel, and let's choose the 12-inch Comfort Panel, click OK. Now what the portal is going to do for us is give us a wizard for this Comfort Panel. That way we can easily walk through the HMI architecture of what we want to create. First step is the PLC connection, so I'm actually going to go ahead and choose the main CPU. That is the 315, click OK. He'll give me a visual indication of that connection between the main CPU and this HMI. Click on Next. I'm not going to use the screen layout or the alarms. I'm going to use the defaults there. I do have a root screen and diagnostic screen. That is perfect. Let's go ahead and click on Next. System screens use defaults, and where the buttons are located on the bottom, that's fine. Click Finished. Now what we'll get is an actual photorealistic view of this 12-inch Comfort Panel in the actual portal software itself. If I go ahead and give focus here, let me minimize, and let me go up and do Fit to Screen on the root screen. Now let me go down and choose the diagnostic screen real quick. Double click on him. Do a Fit to Screen as well. So now I have my diagnostic screen that I want to populate these messages to. If I go over here to my controls, there's a little icon. It's called the System Diagnostic View icon. Let me drag and drop him on. This is an ActiveX control. Let me go resize and refit him so I can really see everything going on in the diagnostics to the entire screen. Let me go back to my root screen. So this is going to be my standard control screen. I have my start-stop control functionality on it. If I go to my libraries and click on buttons and switches, what I want to do is add a diagnostic indicator. That way I can see it on my standard control architecture in my HMI panel. Go to Master Copies, Diagnostics and Buttons. Here's the little button. Just drag it up here to the right-hand corner, for instance. Now that I have focus on him, let me go back to the diagnostic screen and just drag and drop it directly on top of it. Let go. Give focus to the main HMI. Click on the Start Simulation. So now what we're able to do is we're actually able to virtualize this HMI panel. We don't have to buy the hardware. We can actually prove out whether or not this is going to work exactly for our application needs. And then at that point you can actually buy the hardware and test it in full. Ultimately we have a connection, I just saw it pop up, to the actual hardware architecture itself. So now our automation task is complete. Let me give complete focus to it. So at this point I could come over to the automation system. I could come out here and pull a card out, for instance. You'll see that we do get the wrench with the red in him, so I can actually click on that button. Now if I come down here and navigate through the screens themselves for the diagnostic message, it is a 300 CPU, it is on rail 0, it is the PLC 1, that is correct. It is on Profinet, that is the correct Profinet I/O system. Here is the actual rack with the card, so it actually shows us which card has the issue. And in fact, it even shows us this module with the part number is removed. That is correct. So if I go back to the system, they put it back into place. We solved the problem, and I was able to accomplish all these tasks in just a matter of minutes. Now that is engineering efficiency.